More than 7 years of escalated conflict in the West Bank and Gaza have led to a dramatic decline in Palestinian living standards and social conditions. Internal and external movement restrictions, limited control over natural resources, and reduced rates of employment and economic production are leading to the collapse of an already fragile economy, increased levels of poverty, and the gradual breakdown of social cohesion in communities in the occupied Palestinian territory. These factors combined have together served to weaken the resilience of many Palestinians to respond to and engage in economic, social, and political spheres. At the community level, the West Bank separation barrier construction and checkpoints are isolating thousands of people from their land, dividing communities, and restricting access to essential services. Oxfam GB completed community profiles of selected communities of Area C in the occupied Palestinian territory, which concluded that service delivery, particularly of health, education, and participation of citizens in decision-making and policy process, are unsatisfactory. Despite some presence of a functional regulatory framework in occupied Palestinian territory, it is not serving the needs of those most vulnerable. The capacity of civil society in marginalized regions of the West Bank to input into policy processes and affect change has been weakened at all levels by lack of organizational capacity, isolation from centralized political decision makers, and the scarcity of resources available to non-state actors. In some cases, individuals have taken the lead on community development initiatives. However, this has not resulted in consistent community development action. The key interrelated weaknesses related to participatory developmental planning can be divided into those at the local government level and the civil society. The latter includes the absence of effective institutionalized mechanisms for civil society participation in local governance, lack of financial resources for governments and civil society organizations, and inadequate civil society capacities to advocate decentralization and local governance policies at the national level.
هاي اللجنة تم اختيار أفراد من كل المؤسسات في القرية، مراكز، نادي، مجلس، من كل الفئات. هاي اللجنة تم أخذ عدة دورات مكثفة لأفراد اللجنة عشان إحنا نكون قادرين على إن إحنا نباشر في العمل المجتمعي في تطوير مجتمعنا في قرية الأبوار، وتم تشكيل فئة شبابية، فئة الشباب اللي هم 6 أفراد سميناهم محفزين، يعني كمنشطين. هذول المحفزين كعامل مساعد للجنة.
The results are target groups and final beneficiaries. This action directly benefited approximately 11,000 Palestinians residing in the targeted 5 communities in the West Bank, which include the western villages of Bethlehem, Walajeh, and the Jordan Valley, Fasail, Jiflik, Sbedat, Oja, through effective participatory local planning, improved services, and community-based projects. Approximately 50% of the population in these target communities is under 18 years of age, and 50% are women.
أضافت لي أشياء كثيرة، يعني صار في عندي ثقة بالنفس أكثر، صرت أتعرف على ناس كثيرة. أنا يعني من الناس اللي بكاش يعني إلي علاقات اجتماعية كثيرة في القرية.
صارت عندي شخصيتي قوية كثير، وكانت صار عندي ثقة بالنفس، وصار كثير هان هذا بالبلد يعرفوني. كنت أول شيء مش معروفة، صار عندي كثير قوة شخصية، وصرت أطلع وأشوف المؤسسات يطلبوني بسبب الدورات. صرت معروفة بالمجتمع كعضوة مركز وكمنشطة مجتمعية بنساعد البلد من خلال المشاريع والدورات.
Members of the local government units benefited through training in participatory local governance tools. Oxfam partnered with 4 local civil society organizations, Miftah, Women's Studies Center, Ansar Center, and Palestinian Vision, and worked with community-based organizations, community committees, and community mobilizers in the target areas to promote civil society as change agents. The overall objective of the action is to strengthen the capacity of Palestinian civil society organizations as a precondition for a more equitable, open and democratic society.
كان عدد اللجنة المجتمعية ما يقارب 17 فرد يضم جميع القطاعات وجميع العائلات، وهذا الأشخاص كل يعني بنقول كل واحد من قطاع عارف شو مشكلة القطاع. كنا كل اجتماع للجنة المجتمعية نحط جميع المشاكل على طاولة، وهذا المشاكل نقسمها أكثر ضرورة للتنفيذ.
فكرة المشروع نفسه كون يعني كقائم على أنه يكون في لجان مجتمعية من نفس كرة الأغوار هي اللي تقرر أو هي اللي تحدد احتياجات البلد، بناء كمان على لقاءات مجتمعية مفتوحة أكثر من لقاء في جميع القرى، كان في اقتراحات من الأهالي لمشاريع معينة. بحد ذاته يعني أنا بعتبره أكبر إنجاز إنه قدرنا بالشراكة مع المؤسسات الداعمة للشركة إنه نوصل لهذا الشيء.
The results are: community members, particularly women and youth, have an increased awareness and confidence to demand their rights and access services, address their needs and priorities. Community-based organizations in target communities have increased capacity to address community needs and engage proactively with government actors and other stakeholders. Some main activities: formation or strengthening of community committee mechanisms for overseeing development projects comprising local government, community-based organizations, youth and women. Training in the target area of participatory governance. Pilot projects implemented in 5 communities. Identification of 30 youth and women community mobilizers. Exposure tour for community mobilizers to learn from community mobilizing examples globally. Develop a community development fund to allocate grants to community-based organizations to implement community projects as identified through community action plans. Development of community scorecards mechanism to downwards accountability. Community open days, presentation of community action plans to donors and other stakeholders. Initial meetings between government ministries and community representatives. Outreach strategy for community action plan developed in 5 communities. Publications, community voices.
أخيرا بنشكر جميع المؤسسات اللي ساعدتنا واللي توجهت إلنا ومدت يد العون إلنا وأطلقت إشي ما يسمى باللجنة المجتمعية. هذا المسمى جديد بالنسبة للأغوار.